What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here today to give you my reaction to Game 7 of Sixers versus Celtics, and also a quick discussion on Jayson Tatum and can he finish this NBA playoff run as the best player in the world. But before we get into it, guys, check out my description box down below. I have two sections for you to check out. One being my social media section. Follow me everywhere. All my social media links are down below. And also check out my Amazon affiliate links. 4 links down there, all affordable. Let's get into the video. So, like I said, this video is a reaction of Sixers versus Celtics that really got out of hand after the Jaylen Brown nose injury. Harden pushed off going to the basket. He lost the basket late, about late in the second quarter. And then, but during that time or prior to that, the Sixers was definitely in control of the ball game. There was had a little lead. The Celtics were trying to come back during that time, but then you see Jaylen Brown get busted up in his nose, had a little blood coming out, and Brown took over for a little stretch. Also, George Niang, he grabbed at Jaylen Brown's knee when he came to the sideline probably a couple minutes later. So the whole second quarter was really about the Celtics getting back in, getting the game close. Because before, the Sixers were pretty much in the lead by about double-digit points, about 10 to 12, somewhere around that range. And Jaylen Brown definitely caught life. After Brown kind of caught life, Jayson Tatum kind of started heating up during that later half of the second quarter after Brown kind of died down a little bit. But yeah, it was just insane how to see just a flip happen. The game was so close going to halftime. I think the Celtics were up by 3 points, I believe, 52-55, something like that. In the third quarter, the Celtics showed their championship grit. They showed why they went to the not World Series. They showed why they went to the finals last year, and they were just men amongst boys, offensively, defensively, and they just pounded the Sixers into submission in that third quarter. The fourth quarter was just a wash. Tatum was just fantastic. But I want to talk about both sides quickly before I get in. Well, I want to talk about the Sixers first before I get into Tatum. The Sixers was kind of tough. It was kind of tricky. They had a good series. The games that they played well in, they played awesome. The games that they didn't, they definitely didn't. So we've been hearing, or at least me, I've been seeing and hearing the rumors about James Harden going back to Houston. Um, I think they make sense. I would say this year might have been their best chance to win it. Everyone was fully healthy. Everyone was playing pretty well, but this team just isn't ready to win. You got James wasn't aggressive in that second half. Embiid, the MVP, wasn't aggressive. And I said from the get-go, when Embiid won the MVP and the campaign started going from Kendrick Perkins and all the mainstream media, I didn't understand it. Players and just from outside looking in, I'm not a player, I'm a regular person, but just being a fan of the sport. People, it seems like players care about the accolades instead of the team game. And Embiid's a heck of a player. I've been going on rants about 3 years now when I used to do my podcast years ago saying Embiid could be the best player in the world if he just plays correctly. And this year he finally got recognized for being the MVP, but when the time came clutch in Game 7, he didn't show up, at least in the second half. Same for James Harden. He didn't show up. So it was like, man, the MVP award is awesome. He definitely, I think, deserved it, if not this year, one of the last prior years. But, he finally got one this year, but it looks like he traded that in, instead of going to the finals. And I think if they would have faced the Heat, they would have won, So that's just the weird part about it there. But I could definitely see James Harden leaving. I can definitely see Doc Rivers maybe being let go or going somewhere else. You got Phoenix job. You got the Clippers again. If Ty Lue wants to leave, that's the rumor. The Suns might want Ty Lue. You never know. Doc back to the Clippers maybe makes sense. New management there. Was Doc? No, Doc wasn't there. No, Doc. Yeah, Doc just left. Yeah, so Doc was definitely there when the Ballmer took over. So never mind. Him to the Clippers, probably not. But the Bucks, maybe. You never know. So Doc gonna find a job if Doc does leave or gets let go. But you never know. He might end up staying there. But is a rebuild coming for the Sixers? Maybe. Maybe trade for Dame Lillard, which was something I thought of a couple years ago. I think about 2 years ago, I had a prediction video on Dame going to the Sixers, but you never know what happens this offseason. We'll definitely see. But on to Jayson Tatum and my quick question of if the Celtics win the title this season, which they definitely could. I did a prediction video just today on the Nuggets and Lakers series, and I did state, and I'm staying on it. I'm gonna stick with it. Whoever wins that Western Conference wins the NBA Finals if they come into it healthy. I stand on it, But I did say the Boston Celtics would be the tougher matchup for whoever wins. But I did believe whoever wins the West wins it. But just in case I'm definitely wrong. I've been wrong a couple times this playoff series. This whole entire playoffs. In case the Celtics win, if Jayson Tatum is the man and he leads the Celtics over the Heat, which is definitely possible. If he leads the Celtics over the Lakers or the Nuggets, which is definitely possible, can Jayson Tatum be crowned the best player in the world? Now the other question is Giannis even is Giannis's crown up for grabs? I'm not quite sure. Haven't been to the finals in 2 years. Hasn't played. He played well, but not great. The injury bug hit him last year, and hit the team, the Bucks last year, and hit him this year in that Miami Heat series. That's why they ended up losing. So it's tough. It's a good question. I'm not sure if Giannis's crown is up for grabs. I've seen mainstream people say it is. I believe maybe. I definitely see where they're coming from. But if it is up for grabs, if the consensus is there's no best player in the world right now, it's up for grabs. I think it's between Tatum, Jokic, and AD. Even if Butler wins, I don't think he can get it. It just doesn't seem right. He's a great playoff player, not a great, overall player, like throughout the whole regular season and in totality of a full season. He plays well, but he steps it up during the playoffs. So I guess you could give it to Butler, but it wouldn't fit. We know for a fact Butler not the best player. He's the best playoffs player. He steps it up big time in the playoffs. But I can definitely see some people saying if the Celtics win, if Tatum is the man, if he balls out like he did for the most part versus the Sixers, versus the other teams, the Heat and or the Nuggets and Lakers, then I could definitely see a case for Jayson Tatum being the best player in the world after this series here. But prior to this video, I was looking on social media and I saw Skip Bayless. I forgot I follow Skip because I don't really be on Twitter that much how I used to be. But Skip said something that kind of resonated with me, about this whole debate about Tatum. Tatum's a great player. I've been screaming and talking my lungs the last 4 years, same as Embiid, doing the 4-year podcast years ago. I was saying, hey, I think Tatum could be one of the better ones. He could be top 5 in about 3 to 4 years. And it's about 3 to 4 year mark now. Is he top 5? Not quite, maybe. He's somewhere around that area. But in the same token, Skip said he gets cold. And when he gets cold, he gets very cold. And that's the question I had to say about, him being the best player in the world. That kind of goes against that. We've never seen Steph go cold like Tatum does. We've never seen Giannis go cold like Tatum does. We've never seen Bron or KD go cold like Tatum does. Because when Tatum gets cold, he gets very cold. He can't hit a layup. He can't do nothing. And that's the weird thing about it. So, but when he gets hot, and like today versus the Sixers, he looked amazing. He looked fantastic. He looked like the best player in the world. He couldn't be stopped. They had Melton on him. They had Tobias Harris on him. They tried to double, split the double, get around Embiid, quick feet, dribble around him, layup still. Like it was fun to watch. Inside out dribble, step back to a 3. It was smooth. He's fun to watch. And I've always said, the weird thing about me and the Celtics is Brown and Tatum been in the league for a little bit of time now. About 6, 7, 8 years, but they've been tested from day one. Remember, for Tatum's first year, he played LeBron and took him to a Game 7. Brown, same thing. Brown was there too. I think Brown came in first, if I'm not mistaken. But, they've been around for a long time now, and they've had some big experiences. They shouldn't be playing these teams close. These guys should be in the prime of their careers. Their team came in fully healthy. It shouldn't have been this close. It shouldn't have been, Game 7 versus this Philadelphia 76ers team, to me personally. But All in all, though, good series win by the Celtics, but it shouldn't have been this close. It should have been a blowout game, game five games, something like that. But all in all, great win. But that's it for the video, though, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.